that's the problem, is that news should be local and it should matter on a local level, and huge corporations own these businesses.
Yep.
And why keep people informed and educated? That wouldn't make sense. Then we'd go out and vote, and then we'd vote in national elections, but we'd also vote in local elections. We'd care about our school board. We'd care about the city council meetings that we used to sit in all the time. Like, it just breaks my heart because there is such a need, and those people are very talented, and there is now a void of information because corporations have decided there can be.
So, Caroline, this is a long time coming.
I know. We've talked about this for a while.
We have, two former big capital J journalists.
Recovering morning newsers.
Yeah. So I want to start with this, a real like journalistic type question, because we're gonna have some fun today.
Okay.
And so just to kind of start off, just to see if I can still flex those muscles. You did a lot of live television.
Yeah.
A lot of live television.
A lot of live TV.
A lot of morning TV. Did you ever once say fuck?
No, I never cursed on air.
What about shit?
No, and I can say damn on the radio, but I try not to, because I'm like, if I start this train, like, the sailor's going to come out and it's not going to stop. So no, because I've heard there's a hefty FCC fine if you do it. So
Who takes on that? Is it the station?
I think it's the station, and you kind of get in trouble too. I'm not going to drop names, but I did have a friend say shit on air. Not as bad as the F word, but still the FCC's like, don't do that.
Also, just now realizing that like that's
fine.
like the first 5 minutes of YouTube will be like demonetized because I've gotten to the point where everything's monetized, but probably we'll bleep that one.
I love it.
But
I didn't know what you were going to ask me, and I'm so happy it was that.
No, very much not a big J journalist question.
It's great, no, because live TV, like, there were many times where I wanted to curse, and I couldn't, but it's okay. I hope people couldn't like tell in my face those moments of sheer panic. Did you ever like panic on live TV?
The first time I ever had to read the word achafalaya across a teleprompter, I went like achaf. You know the basin.
And
anyway,
it's like once you start messing up, then your brain really like there's no stopping. Last names. It was last names for me.
Really?
That really messed me up.
Well,
and I'm from here, so you think I would know.
Yeah. So you're from Houma originally?
From Thibodaux.
From Thibodaux.
Yeah, my dad's from Houma, my mom's from Thibodaux.
Okay.
I kind of grew up, I guess, in between both. But yeah, moved here after I went to Nichols.
So you went to Nichols, went to school with two of your former coworkers?
So Gerald Grunig was a little bit older than me, and I graduated with his brother Sam, but Sylvia Masters and I went to school together. I graduated a year before she did. But yeah, it was kind of crazy because there was opportunity in Thibodaux, and Sylvia and I both took all the opportunities we could, and we started out at HTV in Houma. Everybody's like, HGTV? I'm like, no, I was not on the Home and Garden channel. HTV in Houma, so started like super local. I mean, covering like gumbo cook-offs, 5K races, like, all the events. So yeah, Sylvia and I actually both started off at HTV, and then I did sideline sports at Nichols. So I covered women's basketball, football, and baseball.
So did you work with Mike Detillier?
I know Mike. Yes,
Okay.
I know Mike. We never truly, I guess, worked together. When I was at HTV, I was on the weekends, so I didn't see the A team, I guess.
So when did you move to Lafayette?
Right after I graduated. I got my job at KLFY like 2 months before graduation. And
As an MMJ?
As an MMJ.
Multimedia journalist, for those not in the biz.
Just a cheap way of saying you're going to do it all. And yeah, it was why I moved to Lafayette. It's funny because I wanted to come to UL, and looking back, like, timing is everything, and I'm so glad I came to Lafayette when I did. And it's been awesome to see it grow, and I've stayed because I've seen the city grow so much. And, and it's really been 7 years now.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I stayed. I went to UL. I got here in 2012, and
where are you from originally?
Covington.
Okay.
So
I love Covington. The Abbey.
Oh yeah.
I would go all the time. I have a cousin that was the abbot at the Abbey.
Really?
Yeah,
How about that?
Head priest.
Yeah, so like we're like opposite sides of the 985.
Yeah, no, actually, but Covington's a lovely place.
All my New Orleans friends say I'm from West Mississippi, which is annoying.
That is Covington.
I mean, it doesn't bother me at all.
But 2012 you came? So
yeah, 2012, yeah.
Okay, you got here before me. Yeah. Okay, so you did school at UL. You see, I wanted to come to UL, and now looking back, think I would have flunked.
You probably would have had a lot of fun.
Exactly. I would have gone out too much.
You did Greek life?
I did. I was a Delta Zeta. But honestly, like when I started doing the sports, I was traveling with athletics every weekend. Shout out to student athletes. I don't know how they do it because I was not playing the games. I was videoing, and they were doing school. Like I just learned so much on the job there, and I will never forget. I looked at my sports boss at the time, Bryant, and I was like, I'm never going to touch a camera again when I get in the news. And he was like, good luck with that. Because we were MMJs. We were MMJs. We did it all. You carried the camera.
You set up the interview. You do all those cold calls to set up a story. Pitch your stories.
Pitch the story, first of all. So every morning, how nerve-wracking was that? Do you remember the feeling of I
remember, the first few weeks, they're just like, all right, here are my ideas. Like, I don't know what's newsworthy.
No,
but what interests me, I guess, and try to because, truth be told, I kind of slacked off in college and barely made it through.
Hey, we graduated.
That's right. C's a degree. Get degrees.
Communication C's also.
Oh, yeah. Big C.
Communication degree C's are even more, but we graduated.
Yeah. And I didn't even I started in nursing. And I went to sports management, realized that was just become a kinesiology or a PE teacher. Didn't want to do that. Or run a rec center. Didn't want to do that. I wanted to be a GM for the Saints or something.
I could see you doing that.
Yeah, I loved that. I grew up a massive sports fan, still am. But then switched back to nursing to prove a point to myself or my mom or whatever. And then that was just being dumb and foolish and didn't know what I wanted, but I knew I had to get out.
Right,
Friends were starting to graduate. People were starting their lives.
I need a career.
Yeah, going to the keg 3 nights a week wasn't happening anymore.
That would have been me.
Yeah, that was.
I stayed in Toto.
I had a schedule. But then I landed on broadcasting, concentration in broadcasting from a mass comm degree. And then, through that, you start doing these little internships. Yeah. My first internship was at Delta Media, where when I was running the board, where I would have to queue up either commercials or segments from KLFY, in which I heard a Caroline Marcello all the time. And so I never knew what you looked like, but I heard your voice almost every shift. Every single time.
That's wild. Yeah, because the news airs on the radio too. We do radio spots before the show. That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to say I always knew I wanted to be in broadcast, but that's what I started out at Nichols and finished. But I grew up watching WWL.
Same.
Oh my gosh. So the heavy hitters.
I saw Margaret Orr every single morning. I sent in the little colorings to her.
Sally Roberts and her name escapes me now. Oh God. Okay, edit this out because I can't think of her name.
wait.
Angela Hill.
Oh, I was gonna say just mouth.
I know.
Whereas I was gonna fill it in with my voice.
Yeah, I grew up watching WWL with the heavy hitters like Angela Hill and Sally Roberts, and you saw these people, and to me they were just the epitome of information and poise and grace, and I was like, I want to grow up and do that.
WDSU was my family's household station.
Okay, so we both grew up watching the New Orleans news.
Yeah, and I was just telling someone this today earlier. I grew up honestly in high school putting on the radio in my car a lot. I wouldn't even listen to music. I would listen to WWL talk radio.
Oh no way!
Yeah.
Still around.
It is.
And everybody's like, oh, is it dying out? And I'm like, we could talk about that later, but it's still around, and kids like you and me, and I use kids because we're not that old. We grew up listening to radio and TV, and it's still something that I don't know. I stopped somebody or talked to somebody at festival this past weekend, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I listen to Hot 107.9." I'm like, "Kids still listen to the radio? This is fabulous." So traditional media, I don't know. It clearly touched us and was the reason that we had our first careers.
Yeah.
Because that was your first job out of college too, right?
Yeah, it was. I got the job as an MMJ at News 15, and then within a year, I was on the morning show and as your competitor.
That's right. Okay. What time did your alarm go off every morning?
Oh, well, mine, I was still trying to navigate post-college life, and then, trying to have fun with my friends who were just enjoying their first jobs and, still trying to hold a piece of college with them. And then my alarm would go off, later than yours because y'all's show started before ours.
4:30.
Our show started at 5.
Okay. You got to sleep in.
Yeah, but also I could Alex Worstel, my old co-anchor, she would be so mad at me because she'd have to get in an hour before.
We don't wake up like this. I don't wake up like this, and this is minimal compared to what I used to do every morning.
Yeah, and I think I talked about this with Sylvia, one of the first episodes of this show about. The misconceptions of news, how many people have asked you, oh, do you have your own hair and makeup team?
If only. I think that was my favorite question. And I would laugh because if they only knew what I got paid. No. I barely got paid, more or less had a hair and makeup wardrobe team. But no, that's probably my favorite question is people were like, oh, it was so glamorous, right? And I'm like, I mean, certain parts, but not really. Waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And yeah, we were young. I was single at the time. What guy wanted to go out to dinner at 4:45? Like, who wants to take me out at 6 p.m.? Like, it was hard trying to, be a young professional going to sleep at 6:45. I would wake up at 3:15. I was supposed to get there for 3:30. I was always a little bit later than that.
Well, it's the nature of the beast because, Lafayette, it's like with the 121st market or something like that.
Yeah,
someone can fact check me.
121 or something like that.
But
so the way that it works is like all these TV stations and cities are ranked because a lot of people don't get it. But it's like if you land in an 100-something market after college, that means you're decent enough to do the job. Like it was a hard job.
Yeah, and no, there's really hardworking and talented people in this market who have been here for a long time.
God bless them.
And they fell in love with Acadiana and the culture, and they've been able to carve a good career for themselves. But for a lot of folks, it's people coming here for their first job. It's a starter market.
Right. It's a jump market.
Yeah, a jump market.
And I definitely was the one that was like, okay, I'm going to be here for 2 years, then I'm going X, Y, and Z. And like, those are great dreams to have. And it's great that, I thought that way, but I'm glad I stayed and I'm glad I ended up here. And as like bittersweet as it was to leave that morning show, like not really knowing, it's been pretty cool to watch where it's all ended up. And like, it's because Lafayette is such a great city.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I would have had the same experience in life and career if this would have been anywhere else. I don't know if it would have worked.
Yeah, and so that's kind of a nice little segue, and we can, before we get there, I do want to ask you, what was it? Because I know for myself why I left the morning show, and I wanted to start something new and create my own content, and not wake up super early. Plus, the pay was not fun.
No.
But for you, like, what was kind of maybe the straw that broke the camel's back?
So anchoring through the pandemic was hard.
Yep.
It was very hard.
Good morning, Acadiana. Here's why your day is going to suck.
Right. And we would anchor the noon show every day, and the Louisiana Department of Health would come out with the numbers of how many people had passed and how many people were diagnosed. And you'd literally get it in your ear because the show would start at 11:59. The numbers would come out at 12:05. And it was... I had a panic attack once on air where I had to like step off, and my floor director was really great, and I was just like, "This is a lot."
Was it like during a commercial break or like on?
I made it through the segment. I think it was the morning show, but like, you know how it is. You're sitting in the studio and you're seeing also the national packages air on these huge screens in front of you, and it just felt like a nightmare. Like it was hard. And I make the joke, and I probably shouldn't joke this lightly about it, but I do say that I went from mugshots and murder to happy things and news, and my quality of life dramatically increased. But it's not wrong. Like, I was waking up every day, and that's what the news is. A lot of times it's bad stuff, and you're reading about mugshots and murder and hurricanes and disaster.
Yeah.
And for me, I kind of am a more shiny, happy person. So I followed the good, and it landed me here.
I mean, we both worked with charismatic morning reporters. Of course, you, Gerald Grunig,
still a good friend.
Famous with Acadiana Eats, that he's blown up through the freaking roof, and then his TikTok and whatnot.
Dude, can we talk about that?
Yeah, sure.
I remember the day during COVID that Gerald and John both walked in the studio, and they were like, "We're starting TikToks." And I kind of just laughed because I was like, I'm not downloading this app. I had an addiction to Vine. I would scroll on Vine for hours. I was like, I can't do this.
R.I.P. Vine.
R.I.P. Vine. It was so good. So Gerald was like, no, I'm starting this. We're doing it. And I was like, okay, like you can. But for me, as an anchor at that point in time in news, it was really hard for me to like do a TikTok dance in front of the anchor desk where I was reading things like, COVID death numbers every day. And like, it was just, I couldn't figure out how to create content like genuinely at the time, like through that lens. Yeah. So it's been really crazy and awesome to watch him explode and be able to like see the great content that like he's created and John's created, and now like try to do that myself. Like, I've definitely learned a lot from those guys. Like, they're definitely good friends that I know that I could call if I ever need help. And it's just so funny because I remember the day they were like, we're doing this and you need to do it. And I should have listened to them.
Like, what am I, Addison Rae?
Right. I was like, I should have listened to them because there it was a way to do it. I just couldn't see it at the time. But
I mean, at the time, like, truth be told, a lot of it was just like dances.
Oh, and there have been anchors in large markets who have gotten jobs, and you see the push of like TikTok superstar gets morning anchor job, and it's just like,
which has got to be so frustrating for someone who like got into it for like the journalistic aspect.
and look, to each their own, and I don't want to knock anybody's groove or anybody's hustle because it's all different.
Sure.
But yeah, it was a weird thing to be in news during the TikTok era of everything's changing to online content. Like, yeah, it was weird. And I feel like the old man, because when we got to news, they were like, we used to edit on tape and cut and splice, and
you guys have it so easy,
right? And I'm
but I'm doing it all.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh well, we used to edit on Premiere, now you have AI and TikTok. Like, I feel like the old lady.
That's funny, yeah.
But it's so weird how much it's changed in the 7 years we've been playing the game.
But yeah, so you had your Gerald and at News 15, which unfortunately, as this comes out, it'll be a couple weeks old. But News 15 just got rid of their entire morning show.
Can we spend a whole hour talking about this?
I wish. I would love to have like a roundtable with some of them. But I'll save that to let them deal with their stuff right now. And it's just unfortunate. A lot of talented people.
Well,
it's just the nature of the beast of the industry.
And that's the problem is that news should be local, and it should matter on a local level, and huge corporations own these businesses.
Yep.
And why keep people informed and educated? That wouldn't make sense. Then we'd go out and vote, and then we'd vote in national elections, but we'd also vote in local elections. We'd care about our school board. We'd care about the city council meetings that we used to sit in all the time. Like, it just breaks my heart because there is such a need, and those people are very talented, and there is now a void of information because corporations have decided there can be.
Yeah, for sure. And,
Sorry to get on my soapbox, but I get mad
shout
about
out Byron Allen.
I get mad about this.
Buying up all these little local media stations, the Weather Channel, and not having the money to do so. So instead of declaring bankruptcy, he just guts these tiny stations.
Well, and it's like all these stations used to be owned by family corporations.
Yeah.
And there may be a handful of news stations in the country that are still owned by family corporations. Everything else is, we could look at the numbers and see how many, Nexstar, who I used to work for, owns like 300 stations in the country.
Right.
Like, that's a scary thing to think about. And information at the local level is important.
What was that video that went viral a few years ago?
Oh my God, everybody had the same script.
Yeah, it was the same script all across the board about like fake news or something.
Or I think it was even as innocent as like, get involved in your local community.
Right.
But still, when it's a boilerplate script, like, and that's what happens when you fire talent and you fire local people and you fire humans and think that a skeleton crew can do it, because that's the problem. There's not enough resources. The people who are still doing it, God bless them, because they're not making a lot of money. They're working really hard hours, and it's really important information that needs to get out there, and it's getting harder and harder for people with good intent to do it.
Yeah, and a big thing of it is that it's not just, obviously, like you and I were on camera personalities, but you have all these producers, you have all these camera ops, you've got people selling ads, you've got people in master control, making sure that everything is on air at the right time.
Yeah, people have to hit the button still and produce the TV shows and make the phone calls. It sucks because I feel like all the reasons why we got into it even a few years ago, it's like it's just changed so dramatically.
Yeah, and it's a damn shame, but...
Sorry, I didn't want to preach, but
preach away, sister.
I mean, because I know
you're in the right crowd.
You feel a certain kind of way about it too, and I think we all should from like a public
because at the end of the day, the people of Acadiana suffer.
Yeah.
And
they don't.
At the same time, trends are changing. There, a lot of people are ditching news. There's never been more of a distrust of media than ever before than right now. And so, things are changing. Money's moving in different directions. People are trying to chase that carrot. But at the end of the day, I always am going to believe that there's going to be a need for local news, information, entertainment, whatever it is that is locally sourced.
And yeah, it's so important. And again, I don't want to knock the people that are still trying to do it because they are working so hard.
Yeah,
so shout out to those of my friends who are still doing it. But that's why I love radio, because it's so hyper local. Like, we really do get to talk about, I don't want to say whatever we want, but we get to talk about what the community wants. Like, it's very much so like a community driven conversation every morning.
Yeah, and that's what I loved about kind of the morning television that pissed me off so much during the pandemic is, you mentioned Joe Grunig with you, but I worked with Al Abair.
Oh, Al.
Who the
shiniest, happiest person in town.
The best. And like Al was like, before he got on air, he was doing like, as a producer, segments where the people before me, he had them literally just like eating a bowl of cereal in the A block, which the A block is for like your most hard hitting news.
Right.
And then they're just chowing, eating cereal. It's like, well, because the audience is eating cereal. Why don't we
Right.
just eat cereal with the audience? But that, especially in South Louisiana, and my mom kind of like instilled this in me, but in a people who work as a means to an end for the most part. Yeah, people are career driven. They want to, have aspirations that are high. But for the most part, the culture is people who work as a means to an end, the end being celebrating the joie de vivre, the joys of life with people, going to festivals, tailgating, listening to live music, enjoying food at a crawfish bowl around friends and family. And to wake up every morning and tell them that their day was going to suck, I couldn't do it.
Right. It was like, and I feel like we got gypped a little. Like, look, the whole world did. There was a global pandemic. It sucked. And it's like we got to do the happiest job at the saddest of time. So it's like I really wonder what it, because I did the morning show for 3 years. And I mean, I started anchoring right as the pandemic hit. So I always wonder what it would have been like to just share the happy, because towards the end of my career on pause is when we got to go back out and got to, be like, Festival Acadians is back in person, Festival International is back in person, and that joy of, the joy of living. It's so, palpable here in Lafayette, and that's why I feel like people want to come here and want to visit, and they want to, play and work and live here, and I feel so lucky that I get to work in tourism now because I just get to shout about the good things from the top of the roof all day.
Well, I'm glad you said that because I've had a couple of beers already and I can feel my libertarian anti-government sentiments about to come out about the pandemic. So we're going to move on to when you finally got, I guess, burnt out, for lack of a better term, you moved on to the Lafayette Convention and Visitors Commission.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
Okay. I took a job in sales at KLFY for 2 months.
That's right.
And I hated it. And I was not good at it. And that's fine to say. And I talk about it because it's like, no, I didn't change my major in college, but I did my dream job, got my dream job. And then that's when the change up happened for me of oh, what do I do now that I have to leave it? So I did sales for 2 months. Yeah. I like adding that part to just, I don't know, mention that we're all human. And if it doesn't work out, it's fine, because then I really, fell into something that has been amazing.
Well, here's the thing. Obviously, you're a talented person. You did well whenever you were on air. Sales was not for you.
No, just wasn't.
Because of those connections that you made and really personal ones of doing the job, that probably helped lead you to LCVC and be as a natural fit. Yeah,
and I had interviewed Ben on camera before, and I had gotten a canoe with Jesse during the pandemic to show how you could still do activities in Lafayette. I had known them, and they really hired me because they saw that short form video content was king on the internet. And they were like, you can edit video, you've done it for the TV. So it really was a cool fit. And I said it earlier, but I make the joke of I went from mugshots and murder to happy things and food. And, it really is what it is every day. Follow Lafayette Travel and Eat Lafayette. But I'm the social media manager there, and I get to highlight local businesses and festivals. And I've been doing a lot of content coming up ahead of Golf Brew. So I just really highlight the good that's going on in the community.
Yeah, talk to me about some of the things that you've done underneath LCVC. What are some of your favorites, things that you've done, and, kind of break down what the job is. Yeah. Because a lot of people would just see the TikToks or the Instagram Reels or whatever.
And some people don't even get, what Lafayette Travel or what a Convention and Visitors Bureau is. But our job is to promote the city of Lafayette. So we go to different festivals and conventions and all the things and market for people to come and spend time in Lafayette. We want you to come have your sporting event. We've had some USA Olympic trial events recently. We want you to come have your next work convention. We want you to come to the next festival. We really want people to come spend time in Lafayette and eat at local restaurants and get to really meet our people. And the fun thing about, I don't want to say selling Lafayette, because I really just feel like I get to talk about the good things and it sells itself.
Sure.
But the fun thing about selling Lafayette is once you get people here, 98% of the time, the response of like why people love it so much is because of like other people. It's because of the people they meet. It's because of the server they have at the restaurant. It's because of the bartender they meet. It's because they get to talk to the live musician after the set at Blue Moon. Like, it's truly because of the people. So I guess every day what I really try to do is just highlight the people of Lafayette, because once the outside world sees Lafayette and the joy of life that we do have and the people that are awesome, they're going to, like, people want to come visit. People want to be a part of it. So I guess my job every day is just to really work to show Lafayette for what it is, authentically what it is. And it's a great place to live, work, and play.
Yeah.
And
that's why I stayed.
Yeah, and that's why I stayed too, because everybody's like, well, you didn't want to go to CNN, you didn't want to go to Fox. It's like, nope. No. I wanted to get out of that industry, and I stayed in Lafayette because I saw the growth happening. I did a segment at KLFY called Moving Acadiana Forward.
That's right.
And I would interview local business owners or, people that were bringing companies to the community. So it really was talking to those outside people who were coming in about why they were coming in. And I was like, yeah, that's why I love it here too. So it's been great to see like the growth and the development, and like, we live in walking distance of downtown now. So I definitely, I just think I'm so lucky that I get to do what I do every day. But like, I want it to come from a really authentic place of like, I'm not just popping into these events to like get some footage and then dip out. Like, this is where I live. This is like, an authentic picture of
you would
Lafayette.
Be at a lot of these events, whether or not you were working for LCVC.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I love going to live music. I love going to a festival. There's nothing better.
So, I mean, yeah, we've talked about this growth of Lafayette in the past, since I've been here in 2012, over the past 10, 14, 15 years. So it's less of like the rest of the state is starting to kind of catch on. But I was thinking about this today, kind of prepping for this conversation. And I still feel like, you lived in Thibodaux, you go to all these different commissions in different towns around Louisiana and across the country. Like, I still feel like, and tell me if I'm wrong here, but Lafayette is still kind of the best kept secret.
It is the best kept secret. And, okay, I hate saying it because I don't like when people say it, but you hear this often. Lafayette can be the next Austin, or Lafayette. You see? Yep, thank you.
Peanut Gallery's getting...
Peanut Gallery, because I hate that sentence. Lafayette is Lafayette, and it is awesome for all the qualities that we have, and we don't need to be a next Austin or a next Nashville. Like, what we have here is plenty good enough. And like, I just hate when people like compare us to anything else, because we're not. Because I've been to those other cities to promote Lafayette, and I can promise you those people are not as friendly. You will not get a meal as good. You will not find the same kind of, it's just a friendly feeling. Like, when you go to cities and you feel like everybody's turning their nose up at you and you can't like go to a bar and make a new friend. New York, like Austin sometimes.
Although there's some nice dive bars in New York.
Yeah, look, there are great places and great people in each pocket, but like, you go to Denver. There's just this like friendly feeling of being in Lafayette where like, if you're somewhere alone, like you're gonna make a friend, you're gonna leave with a buddy, you're probably gonna get an invite to the next holiday at their house. Like, that's just how we are down here, and it's such a special thing that I think we take for granted. We are so friendly and so hospitable, and people say hi when they open the door, and it's just we're a friendly place.
So like, tell me about what was a video that you made that like, because making these reels and whatnot, you never know what's gonna hit.
You never know.
I've found that the most success I've had is any sort of hot take about Louisiana.
Love that.
That someone will hit, and then like, oh, actually, Cajun means this, or Creole means that, right, and like, no, my mama taught me this way, and it's just
they're right.
Yeah, they are. They're right. It's their way, the highway. But there's so much passion behind.
Oh yeah. Okay.
a lot of that cultural stuff. But is there a video that you made on doing this job that surprised you how much it hit?
Yeah, I have 2 video series that were my absolute favorites, so I'll be quick. My first one was stopping at all the Boudin spots in Scott. Ooh. So ahead of the Boudin Festival, maybe my first year at work, I stopped at Billy's, at Don's, at Karchner's, and
Best Stop.
At Best Stop, thank you. And I would ask, whoever was working if they could package their 3 most asked for items. And some of these ladies were nervous to be on camera and like a mic clipped to their shirt, but like, that's what people want to see. People want to see people. Like, there's such an importance of like showing off authentic people too.
Yeah.
And I wanted people, because like, if you're not from Louisiana, it might be scary stopping at a Boudin shop if you don't know what it is, like, and then you learn what it is, and so I wanted to take the like fear away for a visitor of going to a boudin shop for the first time. So I got the ladies who were working to introduce themselves and say where they were, and then I just videoed them as they were explaining, you know, like the stuffed boudin ball or the chicken crackling, and y'all, those videos hit. I mean, and I really think it's because I showed off people in their authentic place, and everybody loves their favorite boudin.
I mean, going back to Gerald and John Weatherall, whenever they, you know, John Weatherall's most recent rural Mardi Gras video absolutely blew up, and people are like, what is going on here? Why are all these girls wearing the same type of pants,
hilarious,
holding their Stanley Cups, and dancing at a gas station?
It's because nowhere in the world does it, you know, it's such an interesting.
And I loved all the comments that were like, oh, you've never been to South Louisiana, baby.
You've never been here. And then the other one I worked on that was super cool. Lafayette in Louisiana is known for fresh seafood. We have some of the best seafood, and I love raw oysters. So I actually went to Grand Isle to do like a series on farm to table seafood.
Oh, very cool.
So got to interview Buzzy, who owns Barataria Beauties, like in the water in Grand Isle, like literally in the Gulf, and got to see like an oyster grow from a seed to it being served on a plate at Vestal and Spoonbill.
Wow.
And it was so cool to tell that story because his grandfather and his father were oystermen. Like, there's such a long line.
Were they Croatian?
I don't know. I should know that.
Well,
I have a lot of friends.
My mom's from Port Sulphur, and a lot of those.
Yeah, the seafood festivals down there.
Yeah, it's a lot of Yugoslavian,
Yeah.
Croatian. They all came down here, and a lot of them got into, you know, in the fisheries.
Yeah, so it was just really cool to tell that story of like the history behind why he does what he does, why he continues to do what he does, and why it's so special that we have fresh Louisiana seafood. So it's like I still get to story tell. It's just a more positive angle.
Yeah, and you know, back to your point of people want to see people. It is admirable. I'll see you every now and then. Like we'll do like a stand up or something, but for the most part, you're showcasing other people and like doing a voiceover or like either people or the scenery. You don't have to be in the shot for it to be an effective thing. In fact, oftentimes like take me out of it.
Yeah, and like I know there is an importance of like putting my face on camera and people knowing who's creating the content.
Yeah, recognizing the content creator.
Right, and I get that. And believe me, I enjoy seeing myself on camera. Like, it's fun doing the on-camera stuff, especially coming from the background we come from. But I never want somebody to go on the page and think it's about me. It's not about me. It's about everybody else. And I'm just lucky that I get to be involved. Like, I don't like the word influencer. Like, no. If anything, like, content creator, sure. But I don't know. If you buy a ticket to Golf Brew, I'm glad you supported local, but I'm not going to go around calling myself an influencer.
Yeah, right. I like that take. So from LCVC, which you still work with.
Yeah, they're full-time.
You now work morning radio.
Yeah.
Back to almost traditional broadcasting, but in the radio sense. Working
crazy.
with RV and DJ Digital.
It's super fun. So I do that in the morning, and then I go to the office full-time.
God, I can't believe you're even with us tonight.
I know. I'm like, it's dark out. What is going on? I need to be home. No.
Yeah, you gave up morning television. You went to morning radio.
I know. And so I have to get there at like 6:15. So it's a little bit later, a little less makeup. You know, not the full blown. I almost texted you. I was like, should we wear our news outfits? Because, you know, like your closet. Now, I know you're a dude, so it's a little different. But the girls can attest. Like, your closet as a newsie, like, they tell you bright and tight, which is like the grossest thing to hear when you're 20. And you're like, what should I wear for my first job? And they're like, bright and tight. Ugh. But when you're on camera, that does tend to be the most flattering thing on anybody is like a brighter color something. But yeah, gross to hear, right?
Can I tell you? And, you know, obviously, I don't have the experience of a woman in broadcast television, but we had these consultants come in at some point, and I never got any sort of complaint about my storytelling or my on-air presence.
It was always your look.
It was the fact that some days I wouldn't wear a tie, and our numbers were going down because of
wear
that.
A tie? Isn't that insane?
It's insane.
It's insane.
I'm on a morning show. Like if people don't take me seriously because I'm still wearing a suit and a button up.
Right.
And it's just a little looser. I don't like sitting around my neck.
When we started, I didn't have to, but they made Sylvia cut her hair before they gave her a job. And I was like, this is crazy.
Miss Louisiana had to cut her hair.
Oh, my bestie. Yeah, it was wild. And like, you know, there's a certain level of, I hate trauma. Like there's a certain level of trauma that comes with people judging the way you look every single day. And it's been lovely being on radio because you can't see me. And by the time this comes out, we're working on some exciting things. So like I do have to brush my hair in the morning now and put on a little bit of mascara and like maybe put on a decent top. But it's like looking at it through a different lens of like, oh, I get to be me now. Like definitely like for the news, there was like, you know, a certain level you present things and like, of course you had to be that level of professional. And there still, of course, is a level of professionalism on the radio, but it's really cool to like be doing traditional media, but like having the opportunity to be myself in front of Acadiana. Like, and just chat every morning. Well,
between your on-air presence at KLFY, the videos that you do, content creation for LCVC, Lafayette Travel, and now the radio show, Hot 107.9.
Yep, Hot 107.9.
People will be actually very surprised. You know, you have a great broadcasting voice, but
Thanks.
Your real voice is like, hey, I'm Caroline Marcello. How you doing, Dawn? Hey,
well, and it's
I can turn it on for the television cameras and the radio and the microphones.
I can't.
So it's amazing that you can like pull out this really nice presenting voice when you actually sound like an 80-year-old smoker.
I appreciate that more than you know, because like I am a very expressive person.
No, folks, this is actually how she sounds all the freaking time.
Yeah, no, this is how I talk, and I like.
She came out the womb speaking in a radio
in this voice. It's been funny because you definitely, and we started at such a young age, and you think you have to be this like certain way, and of course everybody's gonna tell you be yourself. A lot easier said than done, but like I feel like I'm finally getting there, and it's fun. Yeah, and this is me. Sorry.
So the show was originally, it was just DJ Digital, and then you and RV came on together.
Yeah, so Dig has been doing the Hot 107.9 morning show for like 20 years. He's incredible and like a staple in Lafayette and in radio, truly. So when he called, I was actually on a work trip in Denver for Lafayette Travel, and I didn't think he was joking, but I kind of just like giggled it off, and I was like, yeah, sure, you want me to do the radio? That's not gonna happen. And it's all worked out, and it's been really fun. So yeah, RV and I have joined the crew. It's DJ Digital, RV and I every morning from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Hot 107.9, and we just like chat about real life. We do Monday morning confessions and Tell the Truth Tuesday, and it's always something that either a listener wrote in or a topic that our friends have brought. It's always something relevant, and we try to be fun and be silly, but also talk about important things. I feel like I probably preach about communication too much, but like the root of all these problems we talk about, just communicate, people. But it's been really fun.
Isn't that amazing that so many people in the communications business can't communicate?
Oh, so many. It's just, and look, y'all keep writing in. I love it. It's been surprising to see what people will actually like write in for us to talk about. I mean, we never use real names, and we, change it up a little bit, but like, whew. People are honest and open and willing to talk about things that you'd really be surprised.
Give me one.
Oh, well, today we talked about can your boss do your job? Like, do you think that, like, if need be, could your boss do your job? Because somebody had gotten in an argument with their boss at work, and it was like, a thing if he should leave or stay. So we talk about like real life stuff.
Yeah, that's cool because I'm my own boss and I can't do my own job. So
right.
So I guess the answer is no and yes.
And look, and people comment back on Facebook. People are really active, and it's been really cool to be involved. And we've been a year now doing the show.
Yeah.
So yeah, new and exciting things to come in the next year.
That's fun. Yeah, it seems like you guys have like success. Tell me, how important is it to have on-air chemistry?
Oh, it's everything. And even when we first started, one of the Town Square Media reps, like corporate, called, and she was like, so how do y'all do it? Do you each raise a hand when you want to talk? And I'm like, no. Could you imagine being like, it's just like a natural flow of conversation. And we're so lucky that we do all have that. I mean, RV and Dig have been friends for years. They've DJ'd together. They're Lafayette's hype men is what I like to call them. So they've known each other for forever. But it's a funny dynamic because they're, our age gaps are there, and it's like fun to get the different dynamics and different perspectives. But like, I was also raised really close to my grandparents, so they called me baby grandma, and like I feel like I'm the oldest one in there sometimes. But
let me see your hands. No, other side.
No, do I have wrinkles?
No, I do.
Do I have pretty hands?
I've been called Old Man Carter my entire life. Look at
That's
I don't know if y'all can see
hilarious.
this.
Well, like I grew up drinking coffee.
Maybe I can hyper zoom in on that.
With my grandparents.
The second they get wet, like within like a minute, obviously hyperbolic a second, but like seriously like a minute or two, they get pruning.
Yeah, no, my hands are good. I'm gonna keep moisturizing for now, so hopefully I don't
Maybe that's what I need to start doing.
get the wrinkles. But yeah,
John, bring some of that moisturizer in here.
Yeah, where did he go? He was
that
here
cocoa butter.
He was here for a second.
We
We had a live audience for a second, but it's okay. And that's the funny thing. Like people will be like, "Oh, you're on TV and did radio," because I've kind of gotten to public speaking in the last year and really enjoy like hosting events and interacting. But isn't it? It's such a different ballgame when there's people there looking at you. Like I still get nervous.
I've got a different experience because I grew up going to St. Paul's, did a lot of theater,
and you're a musician
and
too.
I'm also a musician. But your boyfriend, which you said that you stayed in Lafayette because you love Lafayette, but you also had a boyfriend.
I met him later in my Lafayette journey, but yes, Kyle is great.
Yeah, Kyle.
And I talk a lot about him on the radio. Poor thing, he's like the unpaid fourth member. Yeah, it's all good things.
Has he called in?
No, he hasn't called in, but I'm always like, you just need to like make a little surprise visit so people can hear your voice.
But yeah, so he's a guitarist for the band The Deaders.
Yes.
Lafayette local band. They're so cool. I love their sound.
They're great. They write all their own music.
Yeah.
All the guys work 9-to-5 jobs, and it's a hobby for them, and they love it. And they're so lucky to be in Lafayette because they get these great opportunities of playing for festivals and different events, and really Lafayette's great.
Now you're a girlfriend of the group.
Yes.
Not a groupie.
No, but they used to practice in my dining room, so I can
So I guess the question is, do you have any story from either on the road or at a specific show that really stands out to you that you love to tell?
Okay, so Lafayette Travel, the office I work for, puts on a music showcase for South by Southwest every year. And
cool.
The first year that I got to travel to Austin for the showcase, the Deaders got asked to play. So it
Austin, the future Lafayette.
Yeah, right. No, we go to Austin to get people excited to come visit Lafayette. And when I tell you there are so many people in Austin that get excited to come and see Lafayette music. So yeah, being on the road, I guess, and really getting to promote Lafayette as like Lafayette Travel and Tourism, and also as like a live music lover and girlfriend of the band. That was like a really cool story we're going to be able to tell for years.
And I know this is an impossible question, but Deaders notwithstanding,
Okay.
give me, and you can rip off a few if you want. Give me some of your favorite local bands.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, this is hard. Love Magic Crawfish. Love Medicine. The Good Dudes are great. Who played for South by this past year? Sick Ride. They were awesome. There is so much talent in Lafayette. Like, it is insane. There's live music every night of the week. I hate when people say there's nothing going on. I will give you a venue. I'll come with you to the venue because there is so much talent out there. And all the guys are so great.
Working with like the Blue Monday Mission guys,
Yeah.
the Blue Monday All-Stars, people like Lee Allen Zeno, Steve Adams, Tony Gula, Lord Richard,
Heavy
Joe Butler,
hitters
Tika
there,
Briscoe. But I say this all the time. I've said it multiple times on this show, but you could throw a rock in any direction in Acadiana and hit a great player,
Or
a
you
great
could
singer.
kick one.
Yeah.
I just kicked him if nobody saw that. Okay.
Yeah. Do it for the camera. Yeah.
Or you could literally like kick one.
Yeah, we're not cutting any of that. But yeah, I just love the music scene here. Yeah, especially I'm not from New Orleans. I'm from West Mississippi. But growing up in a musical family, and I've told this story to some people before. I don't know if I said it on the show, but what I love about my parents, I grew up playing at weddings around the New Orleans scene with them.
I love that.
I went to St. Paul's all-guy Catholic school, and they were very much no Jazz Fest. If you go to Jazz Fest, we will punish you.
What?
Like during the week.
Oh, okay.
But my parents had the wherewithal to be like, you know what? You're going to learn more about culture and where you come from and music. The one day, the Thursday every year of Jazz Fest,
Than you
will at geometry that day.
That's awesome. Your parents definitely had the right mindset.
Yeah,
I hope that's how, like, if we ever have kids one day, I hope I'm going to be like, no, we're going to check you out for some education. That means Jazz Fest.
Yeah, Jazz Fest or
Festival International.
I guess Festival
whatever
International is
one.
kind of after hours, but
Yeah, and I feel like Lafayette's good. They give us all off to, celebrate.
yeah, absolutely. Well, kind of getting close to wrapping up here, Caroline.
No.
I appreciate all the time that you've given us.
I want to talk longer.
Well, we'll talk longer. Screw it. Let's keep going. So I want to know, because what I loved most about the MMJ role.
Yeah. Whew.
Being behind the desk, you can do some of these segments out there in the community. Maybe you have to do like a story a week, whatever it might be, depending on what your job was. But the MMJ, you're always, every single day, out there, not just in Lafayette, all across Acadiana.
Everywhere. I covered Iberia and St. Martin Parish, so I was driving out every day.
Mm-hmm. And I've seen this from Lafayette Travel. You guys do a pretty good job of not just obviously promoting what's going on in Lafayette, but
Right.
you'll reach out to, because Lafayette's the hub city.
Oh, of
kind of
course.
feeds a lot of these little smaller areas in some.
We have partners in St. Martin Parish
Yeah.
and St. Landry Parish, all of our swamp tours that we bring people out to, or, out of the basin. So
Last Mother's Day, I believe it was, we did, brought my whole family. We went to Bro Bridge and did a swamp tour. And I think maybe my dad had done it once in his life. I can't remember, but none of us had ever done that. And we're like, because we always be like, oh, that's touristy. But at the same
Right.
time, we're from here. We never did that. And it was the most beautiful, magical thing.
it's gorgeous. It's so relaxing, which sounds crazy, but it really is relaxing. And like, I joke, these alligators are beautiful. I mean, they're just a sight to see. It's dinosaurs, floating dinosaurs, y'all. Like, I love a swamp tour. I had never been on a swamp tour until I started working for Lafayette Travel. And if there's ever a chance for me to hop on one, I definitely do.
Well, so the question is, give me your top three, Caroline Marcello's top three underrated small towns in Acadiana.
Okay. Ooh, this is hard.
Look, while you're thinking, I'm gonna go with one of mine where I got this. Do you know what this is?
Oh, a little voodoo guy?
This is a damn it doll. I got this at the Hotel Kazan in Mamu because she said like,
You hit it,
yeah,
right?
you, damn it,
Yes!
damn it.
I love
There you go.
it. I'm going to hold her. No, that's great. So you got this in
is that
Mamu?
her?
Well, I'll call her her. She has eyelashes.
Yeah, she has no
took a
penis,
second
so
on
that makes sense.
I love her. But, okay,
Oh, I
so
got
Mamu. He said Mamu.
Mamu.
I love New Iberia, which, do not laugh. Downtown New Iberia is magical. And every time I say that, people, give me a certain look. I was Queen Sugar back in the day.
That's right. I
Go
knew you
for
were
the
Queen of
Sugar Cane
somewhere.
Festival, man. It is magic. So I love New Iberia. I love downtown Bro Bridge. I mean, you can catch a Cajun jam. You can get food. You can go antique shopping. Oh, I can
Buck and Johnny's is so cool.
Buck and Johnny's is so cool. Some of the best antique shops.
Well, yeah,
downtown Bro Bridge.
is there like some sort of like antique like day or something? Like there's this one shop that I remember they would always come in the morning show and like promote this big event that they would
how
have.
fun. Now, I know Bro Bridge does a citywide garage sale.
I think that's what it is.
Would love. I've never been, but I'd feel like that would be my day.
Mm-hmm.
Love it there. Love downtown Bro Bridge. And I don't know. I mean, I'm biased because Thibodaux is my hometown, but I still do really love Thibodaux.
Okay, not
is
Acadiana,
sweet.
but go on.
Oh, you did say Acadiana. Sorry, that does not count. I don't.
Although I've seen there's all once again goes back to like when I was talking about those videos and everyone has different definitions
of
the
what
area
Acadiana is.
Yeah, and the lore goes that Acadiana was just like named through someone writing into like KTC back in the day about the DMA of
Really?
that they covered. So like the
Yeah.
9 parish area that the TV station covered. But there's parts of West Louisiana, like Lake Charles, a Calcasieu Parish that sometimes claim Acadiana.
Right, I've seen that.
And then I've seen it dip all the way down almost to some of the river parish areas.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty far. Well, okay, I guess, is Franklin considered Acadiana? That's a little bit outside.
Yeah, St. Mary Parish, I think.
Yeah, I want to do like downtown Franklin. I haven't done that little section yet. And I was part of the Louisiana Travel Association's leadership class, and it was awesome because we went to a bunch of different cities all over Louisiana and got to really learn about each different little pocket. So like if you want a staycation, you really should check out Acadiana, but even if you want to go a little bit further, there are great museums in West Monroe, and went to a really cool brewery in Shreveport. So I've learned so much about the state of Louisiana just like working within tourism. It's been pretty cool.
And with that, and I think I might have foreshadowed it at the very beginning of this episode, but we're both 985,
Yes.
living in the 337.
Yes.
And all the conversation all the time is the 504 versus the 337. Sometimes a 225, but 225 gets shut on. No one gives a damn about the 318.
No.
But 337
Wait,
and 504.
what's 318?
That's North Louisiana.
Oh, sorry. I didn't even know.
Sorry, Natchitoches. Sorry, Monroe. But the 985, because that's where like there you have your river Cajuns.
Yeah, you're like down
and then
the
your prairie
bayou.
Cajuns out here.
Yep.
There's so much similarities. There
Yeah.
really is, but
A lot of differences though.
yeah.
Like when I moved to Lafayette, it was a different brand of Cajun than I was used to, I guess. Like Mardi Gras was really different. I mean, we don't chase chickens in Thibodaux. Never had seen that before. But yeah, same like hometown feel. You know, for me, it was kind of like move to the big city.
Yeah.
But
Well, the show is called AcadianaCasts Presents, but I really want to represent like kind of all of South Louisiana.
Yeah.
So I want to give you kind of a platform right now to gas up Thibodaux,
oh, okay. Well, I mean, it's a great town.
which I don't know why I'm giving you a platform. You're on a radio show for 4 hours every single day.
It's a great like I have a lot of friends that like went to Thibodaux to go to Nichols and go to school and have stayed and decided to raise their families there. I mean, my mom and my dad are still there, so I love it. I visit often, and my mom would love to see me move back home, but I don't think I could leave Lafayette. Like I don't think, as much as I love Thibodaux, like I don't think I'll be leaving here anytime soon. And it's now I'm gonna gas up why I live in Lafayette because
Let's go.
I'm obsessed. I mean, we bought a house downtown. Like we wanted to live, you know, because it's walkable down there, because we enjoy going to festivals, because there's free programming downtown. Like we wanted to stay in Lafayette because it feels like it is home, but there's a homey feel here, but it also like still has opportunity and it's still growing. So I'm so excited to see where Lafayette's going to go in the next 5 to 7 years. Like it's been so amazing to me so far, and I'm excited to see where Acadiana goes. And I
Yeah.
feel like, not to toot our own horns, but like they're lucky that they have kids from the 985 like us who have like decided to move out here and
sure.
start careers and buy homes and
You're welcome,
you're
Acadiana.
welcome. No, but honestly, I think Lafayette is, like you said, one of the best, you know, kept secrets, and like people really don't know. And I just try to shout from the rooftops how great it is and why you should all move here.
Yeah,
And,
I mean, I can kind of blend in being a Simoneaux. Everyone that I ever meet from around here who finds out my name is Simoneaux, they go, "Oh, are you from New Iberia?" And I have to tell them, "No, I'm not. I'm from Covington." They're like, "Oh, Covington? What the hell?"
Oh, well, you
It's
can
barely Louisiana.
You can guess what they ask me with the last name Marcello.
Yeah, you've got mob ties.
No, I don't get a discount at the wine store or at the restaurant.
Okay,
I
yeah,
wish.
here that makes sense. Yeah, being from the New Orleans area, I assume that you are related to Carlos Marcello.
no, we're
and has something to do with the JFK assassination.
No, we're the sugarcane farmers from Lafourche Parish. I promise. We're like Thibodaux folk, like Thibodaux folk through and through. But as much as I love the 985, I do try to recruit my friends to come move out here.
That's
So, selfishly, I want my friends out here. Like
for sure. Yeah, and
So-
I've tried to get friends to come out here. I had
have
a buddy.
you been successful?
No, I had a buddy live here for a few months. Didn't work out for him. That's neither here nor
Yeah.
there. But they love coming to visit.
Yeah, and I think that's the first, thing, and within tourism, like if I can get somebody to come visit and realize how much fun it is to live, like play here and live here, then like that's just hopefully, planting the seed of somebody maybe moving here one day.
Well, speaking of planting the seed, I'm getting you on this show to plant the seed of you to come make a podcast with AcadianaCasts one day. We'll talk about that off air one
Everybody
day.
listens to me enough. Nobody needs to hear my voice anymore.
Yeah, but you can say fuck here.
I can't. I'm afraid to say damn on the radio. 'cause
I'm probably
like,
still
I'm
going to bleep that out too. I don't even, yeah.
Wait, what's Olivia Rodrigo? Was it Olivia Rodrigo who she was like, my favorite word is fuck?
Oh, no, that was Miranda Cosgrove.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, fuck.
I don't know, fuck.
Ah,
I
gotcha.
got it.
I knew I'd get her.
I think that's it. I think that's the one we keep.
Yeah, that's the one we keep. But to kind of get here as we're closing out. I know we could talk for freaking hours, but you got to wake up early and get back to the morning show.
I guess I need
on
to
the
do
radio. But I want to give you a chance,
Yeah.
as a former Big J journalist, to
Yeah.
ask me questions. What you got for me?
Ooh, okay. Where do you see like the younger voices, like our voices? Like, what do you see for us? Like, we've done the traditional thing. We're still, I'm still a foot in the door of the traditional media world. Like, I don't know. Where do you see all this going? Because a lot has changed.
Yeah, a lot has changed, but I think it's no secret to anybody living in Louisiana that Louisiana is often late to catch on to national trends. So there's good and bad when it comes to starting your own podcast creation business.
Yeah.
In that kind of ahead of the curve, but the market isn't exactly catching up. But
Right.
I truly see, because talent will always and creative people will always supersede things. I mean, we've done it with music, we've done it with food, we've done it with so much cultural other things. I don't see any other reason why content creation can't have its role in Louisiana. My whole thing is we have these shows like Swamp People and Cajun Pawn Stars, all these movies that Hollywood comes down to Louisiana to shoot because people are fascinated about our culture and what we do here. And I'm so tired of outsourcing that.
We should be controlling that narrative.
We have so many talented people here, so many people who, if you just put a mic in front of their face, whether they want to be on camera or not, they're going to give you gold. And obviously, with their consent, and if they want to do it, blah, 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 all that. But I think there's such a great opportunity for creators, not just you and I, but people who are, just coming out of high school and college. I mean, you're seeing, how many TikTok accounts are just millions of followers, just Louisiana creators either sitting in their kitchen, cooking some food, like the Cajun mamas talking.
Or like literally cooking for their family. Like
Jordan Thibodeau,
themselves.
He's a great musician, but he does like the little French lessons and whatnot.
I love Brits cooking, shout out. Yeah, like it's just people showing off themselves. I think you're right. Like people are so interested in what we have down here, but it's about time that like we control the narrative to make sure it's an authentic representation of what is Louisiana and not some corporate, subtitled swamp Louisiana that, people think we all take pirogues to work and to school, and like that's not the authentic image. So yeah, I think that's a great way to like put a cap on what we're both trying to do, is just show Louisiana and its people for what we authentically are. Yeah. And that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have resources to do so. Yeah. It's just a matter of doing it and showing the people here that there is something else.
Yeah, because we both got into news, and look, the morning shows are disappearing. So it's like for those kids in broadcast in school right now, I can only imagine the feeling, but I hope if it's any, solace of like, well, we figured it out, you will too.
Right.
I hope that helps.
Yeah, this place has so much to offer, and I'm excited to see where your career goes. Obviously, I'm building this over here.
Yeah, and thank you for doing the hard work. Like, it's people think it's easy for us to like put ourselves out there like this, but like truly it's not, because we did the news and that was a persona. So like, thank you for being you and inviting me to be me, and like having this platform for us to put ourselves out there.
Yeah, for sure. And in an authentic way that people, I think people see more and more nowadays, kind of going back to what I was saying earlier about this distrust in media, but people see through the bullshit.
Oh God.
They really can see through it. And that's the beauty of podcasting and, TikTok content creators, is that you really, maybe less TikTok to an extent, but you can see the personality, the authenticity behind people, and that's what people are so craving nowadays.
Yes, they want real people, and I think the pendulum is swinging. Like, yes, it's great that people can have this career opportunity to like, push whatever they want, but like you said, people want to see authentic and real, and they're tired of being sold to. So I think the pendulum is swinging, that more of content that is coming out is going to be more genuine and less of a sales pitch.
Well, Caroline, you're the best. It's been fun getting to know you. I think we met for the first time while we were both at KFY. I was at News 15, and we just kind of commiserated in the job.
We were both young, and I was like, okay, another young guy, great.
And then like we both saw each other like when we were both out of it, and then
live music.
That's when we started. At a concert somewhere, probably at like a Downtown Rising or a
Downtown Alive or something.
Right.
Or Rhythms.
Festival International.
It's always fun running into you.
Yeah, for sure. And so it's been cool getting to know you and follow and see your career, and I'm excited to see where you go. The way we end every episode here on AcadianaCasts Presents is we get you to look at that camera right there, and you get to have whatever you want. It could be a word, it could be a phrase, it could be advice, could be literally anything that you get to end the episode with, your message to internet land here in Acadiana and the other world who are listening, watching to this.
Oh gosh, that's hard. Carter, I don't know, that's hard.
And that's
you
right.
just put me on the spot. Thank you for, I don't know, thank you to Acadiana and everybody who's given me opportunity. And
look at them, don't look at me.
Oh, I don't know, this is hard. Thank you to Acadiana and anybody who's ever watched or listened and who continues to watch and listen. It's been fun. I'm just a lucky gal. I'm so awkward. I don't know.
Hey, thanks for tuning into the show. since you made it this far, might as well give us a like, a follow, a subscribe, whatever you got to do to alert you that there's a new episode out. Look, it helps us grow, and it allows us to give you the content that, well, you deserve. If you want to be a sponsor, if you want to be a guest, if you just want to berate me, hey, all goes to the same place. info@AcadianaCasts.com. Email info@AcadianaCasts.com. And for more locally sourced podcasts, go to AcadianaCasts.com. Bye.